Well, hey, since we're out here today at the Froghair farm, I thought I'd do a really quick video on the comparison between a D4 6U 1947 and a D4D. It might happen to be a 1966. They made D4Ds up into the late 70s, I think 78. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. So that, that was a long-running model. There were definitely changes in there. Mine's an earlier one, non-turbocharged and so forth. But when I turn you around here, and we'll show you some of the differences that are obvious between the two machines. How about that? Well, the first thing you're going to notice is just the difference in stature. The D4D is a much larger machine, just physically larger machine. It's taller. It's a little longer. Not a lot, though. It is a little longer. It's, the D4D in my case, it's wider. This would be probably the same gauge as a 7U D4. My D4D also has 20-inch browsers versus the 6U, which is narrow gauge. I'm going to say those are 12 or 14, probably 14-inch browsers the way it looks. I have not measured them. So, that makes the tractor look physically smaller. The other thing is the track frame on the D4D is much longer than the track frame on the 7U. And you can see here, look at the different, the amount of space between the front of the tractor and the front, and here much less. And we've got, it goes a little bit further behind and so forth there. Side tank model over here. I don't think D4Ds were ever made in a side tank model. So rear seat tank here. Different engines. I believe this is a 330, if I remember right. This is a D315, although I think they're similar in horsepower. My D4 6U has a toolbar blade. So, you can disconnect the actual blade, swing the arms around to the back, and then connect your toolbar to it, which I will do for you guys one of these days. Whereas this is a 4S blade here. This blade is dedicated as a bulldozer, so it's just heavier all the way around. You can see the differential in the size of the arms here. Pretty good size. The 4S is wider, just the tractor's wider than the toolbar blade. Hydraulics are more or less built into the D4D, and you can see the hydraulic tank back in the back there, okay? Versus hydraulics were really, an afterthought or effectively an add-on on the D4. They weren't incorporated into the body of the tractor. It's hung out here on front, and you can see it's pretty lucky there's protection there, but then it's just how they did things differently. The blade cylinders significantly different setup, here versus the toolbar is a totally different, just totally different ball game. Much heavier duty, et cetera, et cetera. The D4D in my case is a 24-volt direct start system, and so no pony, although you could still get a pony engine on these at the time this one was built. Whereas the 6U, that's a pony start pilot engine. There's a few different names for it and so forth. Mine happens to be electric start pony. That's pretty nice, and so on. So lots and lots of similarities between the two. There's lots of differences too. Tow hook on this guy, no there, unfortunately. These are hydraulically adjustable tracks. We adjust them with a grease gun, versus these, you take a wrench to them, all right? So anyway, that's kind of just a a quick overview. That is not something somebody just welded on. That's for your toolbar blade. Rubs on here when you have the arm swung around, so it's not getting into your tracks and so forth, right? My 6U has a 2-speed power takeoff and drawbar here. No power takeoff on the D4D, and you can see, you know, that those tracks are a lot bigger, or a lot more. The track frame length, I should say, is significantly larger. There is a little difference in height here too. So the diameter of the sprockets are a little larger on the D4D versus 6U. But you know, if you look at your final drives here, they're definitely kissing cousins. So, you know, there's a lot here that's similar and so forth. But engine's probably one of the bigger differences, and then of course you got a monster starter. Fuel pressure gauge is up here in the dash. They no longer have it, you know, on the engine. These have glow plugs. This has a pony motor. Does the same thing, basically. And that's about it. Lights on the D46U. There's no lights on the D4D. So anyway, that's the differences between a 47 and a 66 D4 Caterpillar, 6U, D4D, and there you go. So hey, if you like this kind of stuff, give me a like, and then I'll make more, because I've got more that I can make. So thanks a lot. Also, when you look from the front, you get also a pretty good indication of the differential in size, right? So two beautiful machines.